Okay.
Yo,
First of all, Jim Gray cracks me up.
talking to us. He was talking to Michael Holley, the Slim Reaper talk. That was for you, okay? That wasn't meant for like people right now are like, Tom Brady, your slip is showing. No, he was like, Michael Holley, I got a little message. I'm gonna send it through Jim Gray. Jim Gray took a stray. That's what we're gonna talk.
Yeah,
that's what we're gonna think about.
He did it for us. He did it for us.
He did it for all of us.
Jim Gray was our sacrifice. Go out there, take it for the people. Jim, I love Jim's response too. Well, I sense you're antagonized by the question, Tom.
Tom's antagonized by everything nowadays. He is so irritable. What is this man going to be like in another 10 years? Ah, please.
You know what it's like. You know what it's like. He's one of those folks. And, well, I'm not going to say that. Maybe I'll say it. It's too early.
No, okay. No. Michael, I can tell you what this is, right? He went through a tampering investigation, right? Gets nailed by the league. The Dolphins get nailed by the league in tampering. And, people are talking about Vegas and, look what they did to Derek Carr. And, keep hearing that he's obsessed with Miami, which obviously was at the middle of the tampering investigation. And he probably doesn't want anybody talking about any of his business because so much of his business has been out there. He's in Page Six almost every day now. Now it's his kid. Oh, he's enrolling his kids in private school in Miami. That's in Page Six today. This is like.
By the way, Page Six, go-to stuff.
This is like when you got the side job, the side hustle, and you're hiding like cash in the coats in the closet, and then somebody starts talking about your money publicly, and you're like, listen, don't talk about my money publicly. Shut up.
Right. Exactly. So, okay, you mentioned Miami. Do you think that's on the table? Because I can tell you where I am right now, and I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. There's chatter that, hey, since Bill O'Brien, we'll get to him, Bill O'Brien hired by the Patriots officially today as their offensive coordinator, since Bill O'Brien is here and there was talk of him being in Tampa, if Tom were to return to Tampa, he wanted Bill O'Brien there, so put two and two together, O'Brien in New England. Does Tom Brady want to go back and rock his old number 12 with the Patriots?
With OB. Come on.
Is any of that stuff on the table? Anywhere in the AFC East, we might as well go three of the four teams in the division. Miami, questions at quarterback. The Patriots shouldn't have questions at quarterback, but they did last year after they left Mac Jones out to dry. And the Jets, who the owner has already said, we need a quarterback. Tom Brady a fit with any of those teams?
You think OB overrides Big B, right? Like, I mean, I don't think so. I don't think Tom wants to go back and play with Big B. Okay, even if it means reuniting with OB. By the way, shout out to Big B in the cutoff sleeves today, in the cutoff hoodie sleeves. Look, Miami. I'll tell you what. I talked to somebody this morning. Great thing about Miami is it's always chock full of NFL sources, agents. There's a million people down there, and people insist Tom Brady's still obsessed with Miami, still obsessed with this house. He's building this massive $40-50 million house in Miami. Again, enrolling his kids in private school. So when you bring up Vegas, right? Like Vegas is sort of the Josh McDaniels. You want to go and reunite with Josh. People will tell you he doesn't want to be that far away from his kids. Kids are going to be in private school. He wants to be in an area that's close enough, so that maybe not necessarily in the backyard, but he wants to be in the region. Well, obviously Miami, it would be the backyard. Problem is, Tua's there, Mike McDaniel's there. You don't know what's going to happen. The Jets, I don't know that the Jets resolution is going to be a short-term Tom. And one other thing I will bring up, if he's waiting, I'm curious if Tom is waiting to see what happens with Sean Payton, because Sean could end up in Carolina, right? And David Tepper is sitting there going, need to resolve the quarterback situation in a way that means going for a championship, like now, if not last week. Sean Payton ends up in Carolina. I don't know. Tom is so buzzy right now. He's going to be 46. I mean, he's still one of the first dominoes to fall in the offseason. It's remarkable, but that Miami stuff is not going away, I'm telling you.
All right, one of the first dominoes. Now, did we resolve this? Because I came up, how about, leave it to Michael Smith. He says to me, hey, I got a homework assignment for you.
We're going to talk,
I got a homework
about him.
I got a homework.
Talk about him when he's not here.
That's right. Okay. I talk about him to his face too. Okay. That's why it's all good. It's all good. Say, I got a homework assignment for you. You need to give me a top 10 list of quarterbacks that doesn't include Tom Brady.
I want to hear this.
So fine. I gave him a top 10 list with a troll job at number 10, just for him since he was all over David Carr. I put David Carr at number 10. Do I believe it? No. But I put it there anyway. But the other 9, and if I take David Carr out, I'd put Geno Smith on that list. I put Geno Smith on there at 10. Derek. I keep saying David. I put Derek Carr there. Derek, not David. Thank you, Gary. But if I take Derek Carr off, I put Geno on. Like guys right now, who I think are better than Tom Brady right now. So, and after the playoffs, the list is, I came up with the list last week, Charles. It already hasn't aged well. I got to tell you, it hasn't aged well already.
The Dak in there somewhere.
Oh, well, you're right. I had Dak at like number 7. Okay, but number 1, and we're gonna make a transition because we'll talk about this after we talk about my top 10 minus Derek, not David. There's no Carr, no one from the Carr family, not Lloyd Carr, not ML Carr. There's no Carr. No Antoine Big Dog Carr. What other cars can we come up with? All right, so Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, I got no problems with these. Jalen Hurts, got no problem with these. Aaron Rodgers, some Packers haters might say, no, it's too high, but I'm comfortable with Aaron Rodgers. Herbert at 6. Prescott at 7. Ouch. Lawrence at 8. Lamar Jackson. Then put Geno. Let's say if you don't want Geno there, you think Geno's a flash in the pan, take Geno out. Some people might put Deshaun Watson on there. I won't. But put Deshaun Watson on there. You're not comfortable with that? Take him out. Put Matthew Stafford after rehab at number 10. You get my point, though. Come on, Charles. Come on. Am I stretching? It's Tom Brady at this stage of his career, age 46 Tom Brady. Not the resume, not the CV.
Right.
Not the poster on your wall. Or your digital asset to make it for the kids today. They're like, what the hell's a poster? Anyway, I'm talking about Tom Brady as he is. Is he a top 10 quarterback?
What is the qualification? Like here's the thing. Is it a function of what you surround him with and what he can be surrounded? Or is it just straight up talent at this point? Is it just straight up what he presents on the field? I think that matters. It matters.
It does matter. I'm going to answer it this way. Like when we have these greatest of all time debates in any sport, and generally, and this happens in basketball a lot, if you're comparing Bill Russell from the 60s to Michael Jordan from the 90s and 2000s or LeBron James, the old timers will say, well, hell, if you give Bill Russell the travel arrangements and the weight training and the nutrition and all that stuff that you gave Michael Jordan, okay. So I'm going to say this. Yeah, I'm going to give Tom everything. I'm going to surround him with everything he wants.
Okay.
His hopes and desires, his hopes and dreams. But I'm going to give the other guys that too. So give Lamar Jackson. He doesn't have it. Give Lamar Jackson everything he needs.
I like that.
So give everybody on the list, make them their best. Give them everything that they could possibly want, coordinator that they want, weapons that they want. And now tell me, Tom Brady, about to be 56 years old.
I wouldn't put Dak above him. I wouldn't put Geno above him.
Okay.
I wouldn't because then I start to look at functionally how have these guys performed with the assets around them. What have they been given and how have they performed? I think Tom has shown he has performed pretty admirably with assets around him. I think when you look at year 1 in Tampa, right? That was when he had the peak assets. That's when he had everything he wanted. He had Gronk, he had Antonio Brown, he had the line, he had all the other skill position pieces. He had a complementary defense. He had a running game.
But when have those other but when have the other guys had that? You're saying, all the peak assets. Has Lamar Jackson ever had peak assets?
I would say, look, yeah, you can argue some of those guys. I think Dak has had some pretty good assets, okay? I think over the expanse of his career, there was a time where his offensive line was top 3-4 in the NFL. There was a time where that backfield, I mean, they've had Tony Pollard and Zeke for a couple of years. It's the coaching staff's fault they didn't figure out that Tony Pollard is probably the better running back. Skill positions. Skill positions. He had CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper last year, and Schultz last year, and he had the running backs, and he had the line. He had all that, and what happened? They couldn't snap a ball and get it clocked against San Francisco, and that's whose fault? I mean, Dak. I don't know. It kind of looked like Dak's fault in that scenario. Mike McCarthy as well, but still, I would say that there are people you can pick off in that list. But here's the thing, Michael. We are talking about a 45-year-old quarterback here.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real here. Like, he's probably pushed down that list, but have some grace. He's 45. It's still insane that he's potentially a top 10 quarterback on that list. And I would argue, frankly, you take any of those guys in the top 10, you give them all those assets around them, I think any one of them could potentially win a Super Bowl given the right conditions, right? And I would put Tom there too.
Now, what's interesting to me is that Tom Brady has had this scenario where most quarterbacks, hell, most NFL fans say, that's never going to happen. That's not reality. That's not the NFL. You're not going to get everything that you want. Tom Brady has done it twice in his career.
Yeah.
And the results are 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl win, and a minute or two away from a second. So where he got everything he wanted. 07 Patriots. You got Randy Moss, Dante Stallworth, Wes Welker. You had everything.
It took insanity not to
line.
Yeah. And it took insanity. It took history not to win that game.
Yeah, I think 3/5 of the line made the All-Pro team, or 2 guys All-Pro. Most of them made the Pro Bowl. It was unbelievable. Almost all the time he had, he'd stand back there. He was not the get rid of it in 2.3 seconds time. It was 5-6 because he had it. He had 5 or 6 seconds to kind of survey the defense twice. He can look at his first read, he go through his progressions twice. That's insane.
Yeah.
So that happened in 07. And then in 2020, pandemic year, got everything he was looking for. They won the Super Bowl. But when I hear that argument about Brady, well, if you give him everything, well, that's most people. That's most quarterbacks. That's most people. Most people at work saying, I'm doing the job of 2 or 3 people.
But
I'm getting paid like one person. I'm one person doing 2 or 3 jobs. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. I wish I had more vacation. Am I projecting? I wish I had. I wish I had so much more. I wish I had so much more. But I'm doing the best I can with what I have.
But you're not available. You're not a free agent. That's the thing. He's available. He's a free agent.
He's available.
Okay? And we can talk about all those other guys on the top 10 list. They're not available, right? They're all under contract. So that's why there's interest in Tom Brady because, hey, if we surround him, he's potentially a top 10 quarterback. Hey, he's potentially the straw that stirs the drink. We win the Super Bowl with this guy. No one else on that list is necessarily available without giving up assets. You don't have to give up assets. You don't have to give up assets. Geno can be tagged.
A free agent?
Geno can be tagged.
Yeah.
Geno can be tagged. He's not Tom's not being tagged. I mean, Geno, I think the Seahawks would probably tag Geno if they could not work out a contract at this stage with him. But, and again,
Derek, not David.
Derek is not on the top 10 of that list. Derek is not on the top 10 of that list. What year are you living in with Derek Carr?
He's others receiving votes. Maybe.
Others receiving votes. Okay, wait. What about we're going to do a top 10 list with others receiving votes. Are you going to give Brock Purdy a vote in there? Like he's amongst the last 4, right? I mean, come on. Come on, let's go there. Yeah, I know you are. I'm trying.
You didn't give me a warning. Give me a warning. We're going to talk about that on the side. We're going to talk about, as past greatness. We've already talked about past greatness with Tom Brady. I am intrigued and we'll talk about this with Robert Mays. I'm intrigued about present greatness and this whole debate, Burrow, Mahomes, Allen, but really this week is Burrow and Mahomes. And I love Joe Burrow, but I think we're probably jumping ahead of the conversation. That's what we do. I mean, we hot take it. We hot take everything. We'll do it after conference championship game weekend. So I want to talk to you about quarterbacks, contemporary quarterbacks. Coming up with my brother, Charles, my brother Charles. You got questions? Don't worry about it. Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.